Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the 25.4 podcast.
Unrehearsed, hastily assembled program presenting inside opinions and forecasts on major issues of the day.
I'm your host, Andrew Long. Joining me tonight, Tim and Robert. Gentlemen, good evening. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Super fantastic.
Good. Tim's back stateside this week, so good to see your lovely face again, sir.
It's too cold here.
Aren't indoor plumbing and running water grand?
It is. Electricity and just everything.
High-speed internet,
Yeah.
Brought to you.
cable. You don't have cable, do you?
I do not. I've not had it for years.
Well, someday it might reach your neck of the woods.
Do you live out in the
Get bored
boonies?
pretty quickly. No.
Do you?
No. No.
You're just a cheap bastard?
Yeah, I guess you can go with that.
Well, I guess that's a good reason than any.
And I don't. Only thing I really miss would be Brewers baseball is on a cable channel. That's it. Monday Night Football, you get broadcast on a local station anyway, so I don't miss much.
We could do, if you really wanted to, you could do like the MLB TV on, I think, don't they have an Xbox app for that?
I don't know. I didn't have Xbox last baseball season.
Well, you can always do it online anyway.
Yeah, and then you gotta hook up the laptop, and then it sucks. So you have to get up to go change it. And
I don't want to make things too hard for you then. Tim.
it's not compelling enough.
You seem to be doing all right without, so.
I am.
Are you thinking?
No, I'm good. I was waiting for you to continue the show.
All right. Well, we're going to mix things up a little bit tonight, and we are going to start with some positive stuff with our daily affirmations.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
And I am going to go first, and I like these people that are on the show with me, Robert and Tim, and also Brandon, who's not here. Hope everything's going well there, Brandon. Who else do I want to send this affirmation out to? Sebastian, Nate, Rich, even Ed and Brian, even though they're hardly ever around. But all these guys...
I heard from Brian last night.
Oh, well, that's good.
Don't
He's in
forget
Germany.
Don't forget Brandon's other kidney.
And Brandon's other kidney, yeah, who we'd hope to have on the show tonight, but I don't think that's going to happen. But these guys sort of picked me up out of the gutter earlier this year and brought me into their little secret society. And they are a bunch of great developers and great people, and they have encouraged me to sort of go beyond my comfort zone and to try out some things that I probably wouldn't have tried otherwise. So my affirmation goes out to all of you guys, and it's been fun, and I think the ride's going to keep going for a while.
Oh.
Robert, you're next.
After that.
That was so sweet. I think I might cry. No.
I doubt it.
Not really. Let's see. So we're doing affirmations. So I want to say, I don't know. This was like a main thing that went around this week, but the shipyourенemiesglitter.com guys, that is so brilliant. Unfortunately, they stopped taking orders before I could actually use them. And if you aren't aware of that, there is a website, shipyourenemiesglitter.com, and you could previously place an order, and they give them an address, and anonymously they would fill an envelope with glitter and address it and send it on your behalf with a nice little note tucked inside.
The internet is full of neat stuff.
Yes, it is. It really is. But unfortunately, people have a really, as in their words, a really weird fascination with sending people glitter. and they were apparently overwhelmed and had to stop taking orders. So
How do you get overwhelmed? Can you not buy glitter at the craft store anymore?
you know, if you're a 15-year-old with some killer web design skills and you're actually one guy behind this whole thing or one girl behind this whole thing, I can see where they might have not expected a viral response to.
That's like one of those ideas that just, it really kind of pisses me off because it's so bizarre, so crazy, so stupid, and then it's weird how it just took off. I mean, on that one day, you just saw it everywhere.
Well, you know, the flip side of that is I think you have to have the maturity and the mental capacity to deal with that kind of sudden success because a la Flappy Bird, sometimes the individual doesn't very well. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they stick around. I think that's hilarious. If you go to the website and read it, you should.
If they took that to Shark Tank, you know, those margins must be killer because glitter is not that expensive, and neither are stamps.
No.
And glitter doesn't weigh a lot either, so it can't cost that much to them.
No.
So it's not the first of its kind, though. There's the original is known as poopsenders.com.
Well, that's not what the link says that you just put up on the screen, Tim.
Well, the link on the screen is Shit Senders, which they call the raunchy version, and then they have a PG version, which is poopsenders.com. And you can order a wide variety of cow dung, elephant crap, gorilla shit, and they also have a combo pack, and it's basically the same purpose.
I bet that's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
The labor to collect that would be astronomical, I would think.
You're talking $35 to send a gallon.
A gallon?
Gallon?
Oh my god.
Wow.
The problem I saw on a forum a while back, somebody sent one of these, somebody like at work or something that was pissing them off, and they took pictures beforehand, and then once everything was sent, and apparently it's all nicely sealed in a plastic bag, so it's obviously not going to be, it's not going to be messy. So it's like, it's shocking at first to get that, but it's almost like the glitter is more ridiculous because it just gets all over the place. So,
and it doesn't hurt anything.
No.
Or smell.
Yeah, exactly. But what are you going to do if a gallon of cow dung comes to your door?
Run like hell.
I'm not going to sign for it, that's for sure.
You're not going to know what it is. So there you go.
All right. Tim, you have an affirmation? Were you able to come up with something in 8 minutes?
I do.
Awesome.
I've been on a project for the better part of forever, over the last year and a half maybe, and it's definitely one that's had many, many bumps and pain in everyone's ass. But I'll just say I finally see the light, and the light is almost there, and it's almost time to finally move on to something. So it's exciting and motivating at the idea of working on something new. I'm sure you can all relate to that one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with the nice stuff out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. And that is...
With the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
So, who wants to start?
I'll start.
All right.
So I'm sure you've all seen them, and I've been noticing them on my Cortana tile as of late. There's a lot of, this is the last chance for Microsoft articles, and last opportunity for everything, last chance to win users, and I'm surprisingly not too angry tonight, so I won't rant too deep, but it's ridiculous and it's frustrating. There's plenty of users that are on other platforms already. You know, it's not the last chance for Windows Phone, because Windows Phone is going to continue for a long time. I don't know, maybe I'm significantly more optimistic. Even if a lot of things flop on the initial release, nothing's going anywhere, so just shut up. That's all I got.
That was the most positive airing of grievance I've ever heard.
I can see. I just talked about the project thing. I mean, I'm finally happy. So
You're Pollyanna tonight.
yeah.
We need Brandon here to kind of balance you out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, you want to go next?
Sure. So I don't know, most people probably saw it if you pay attention to tech, and where I think it was last week, right before Microsoft's Patch Tuesday this week, Google decided to publish an exploit that they had previously told Microsoft about before the patch was coming this Tuesday for it. But then odd thing happens. You hear about Google and their 60% of their install base having a serious security flaw in Android Jelly Bean. And they're not going to fix it, according to them. So I find that in and of itself evil, in direct contradiction to their stated mission statement of "Don't be evil." But more than that, I want to know when. I guess we're going to have to actually change presidents, considering that the amount of money flowing from Eric Schmidt and other people at Google into the current administration's coffers managed to get a Department of Justice inquiry, antitrust inquiry, dismissed that had been brought against Google, and I'd like to know when the Justice Department is going to start treating behavior by Google 10 times as bad as anything Microsoft ever did. I mean, Microsoft bundled a browser with Windows and strong-armed OEMs into not removing it and not putting Netscape and other browsers on the desktop. That is not nearly as egregious as some of the behavior that Google has displayed in just the last 2-3 years. So that's kind of my grievance. I'd like to see Google taken to task for their antitrust behavior.
Yeah, and along with that, I guess there's an Android bug that apparently, from the articles I read this week that are comparing it to the Windows bug, they all said that it's very hard for Google to fix it. I don't understand why that is the case. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see any of that?
I didn't see that.
Apparently there's a bug in Android that affects, I'm not sure what version it's in, but it's like the version that's still installed on over 50% of Android devices.
It's like Android chocolate banana or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those dessert ones. And but Google's not going to fix it. They've said they're not going to fix it, and all the like the articles on like The Verge and those kind of sites this week are all sort of excusing Google because it's so difficult for them to go back and fix that bug.
I think we're talking about the same flaw. It was Jelly Bean, 60% of their install base.
Oh, yeah. Did you talk about that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was what I said before I went off on the tangent about the antitrust thing.
Yikes.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody hit the rewind button for Andrew so he can review the first 15 minutes of the show before
I'll edit that part out of the audio.
There you go.
Alrighty then. Well, I have two grievances, and I don't know if I'll do both of them in the show. I might save one for the post show. The first one is kind of going to roll right into one of our shoot the sheet topics, and that is Microsoft continuing to roll out low-end Lumia phones. Google has their Project Ara, which is sort of their componentized phone. You can just sort of swap in and out of, I guess, a camera module or whatever. I think Microsoft is determined to come up with every possible configuration for their hardware and actually release those devices all at the same time and have them all available. I did a little experiment today. I told you guys I have flashcards for the show, and I wasn't lying. I went to windowsphone.com, which I'm in the U.S., so of course it defaults me to the U.S. Windows Phone store page. And I clicked on the phone link at the top, the phones link at the top, and it shows you a list of all the Windows phones that are currently available in that market. So starting from the bottom of their list for the U.S. store, we have
This is
the
good.
Nokia Lumia 521. You can see that or not. There we go. The 520. And these are only the ones currently available. This doesn't include the two announced this week, although I don't think those will be available in the United States. But we have the 820. Okay, we're getting higher in numbers, but still, this is not a
You're
flagship
talking
phone.
3 years old
Well,
now?
these are phones currently listed on WindowsPhone.com. So
They are still available.
are available in some way, shape, or form. We have the Lumia 822.
Could you imagine your contract coming due after 2 years and that same phone you have in your hands is the only one available to renew, to upgrade to?
Well, you're making part of my point here for me, Tim. We have the Lumia 920, which is the phone I used for several years, and it was, I think, sort of a flagship device when it was released about 3 years ago. Okay, we have the Lumia 925, and I don't even know what some of these are or where you get them.
That was at T-Mobile.
Okay.
And AT&T.
The T-Mobile variant of the
Yeah,
920,
later.
or
No, it was a unique device.
okay. Well, this one has a Verizon logo on it, so I assume you can't really buy it now. It's the 928.
Both of my parents both have that device.
Now here you have the one, I think, true flagship, the 1020,
I have that one.
which is about closing in on 2 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little long in the tooth. Another device that some people would consider a flagship, but it's about the size of a cantaloupe, so it's sort of a niche. That's the 1520.
Mm-hmm.
I have one for sale.
Certainly flagship specs, but you know that size, it's a very niche device. Another Verizon phone, the Lumia Icon. So you probably can't buy that, right? Because Verizon is sold out of all their Windows phones, at least the Lumias. Okay, some newer stuff here. The Lumia 635, not a flagship. The Lumia 630, again, not a flagship. Another real niche device. This is the budget phablet, the 1320. And I'm not even. I think Boost Mobile is the only one place in the U.S. that carries that. I think.
Cricket.
Cricket. Okay. And the Lumia 830. Tim, you have this phone, right?
Yeah, Robert does as well.
So, would you guys call that a flagship phone?
Hell
No.
Okay.
No, with Dena, we can't use Lumia Camera 5.0 because of the processor, and Denim does not give us Hey Cortana.
Okay. I know I'm using up a lot of time, but I have more flashcards. So
Flash away, sir.
I then went to the UK site for Windows Phone, so windowsphone.com/ I think it's en-GB.
GB.
Correct. So besides, I only printed out the ones that weren't already included in the U.S. So in the UK, they also have the Lumia 620. So again, not a flagship by any means. The Lumia 625. Another not a flagship phone. I think this is another really old device. The Lumia 720. And it's sold as the icon here, but the Lumia 930. So again, it's same device but a different name elsewhere. So that's, I'm not accounting, but that's another 4 different devices, none of which are flagships. Then for one more little fun and games, I went to the French site because I like French people, and some more than others. They also have the Lumia 630 dual SIM, so that's different, and the Lumia 735, which I assume that's probably old.
No,
it's fairly new. That's the one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
The rod is slobbered all over.
Okay, so it's decent, but still not a flagship, right?
No.
So, you know, going after the low end of the market is great. I think it's a terrific business strategy. You know, they've had success with it, originating with the 520. It's good to get users, but you still have to have aspirational devices, because once somebody comes off contract here in the U.S. or finishes their jump or whatever plan. I know it's different in Europe where they buy the phones outright, but somebody's not going to be happy with a low-end device for more than a couple of years. They're going to a high school kid or a college student with their first phone, that might be fine. But after a couple of years, they're going to want to move up. And eventually, they're going to want that real high-end flagship device. And if it's not available, the people that are coming onto the platform at the low end are not going to stay on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my grievance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You have to give people something to move to inside your ecosystem. Otherwise, they'll just pick up and walk. But I want devil's advocate. Maybe the Microsoft answer to that argument is, well, do we care? All of our services are everywhere. They run on iOS. They run on Android. So do we really care? They're still using our stuff. If they move to another OS off of a low-end Windows Phone, so maybe that's Microsoft's business decision. We're just going to go in. We're going to make a ton of money off the low end. We're not going to give a crap about the high end. And if they go to iOS, so what? Which kind of sucks.
See, with Android, they've always had a massive mess of low-end phones, but like you guys said, they at least have something to grow into and move up to, and you've got something at all levels of the game. And you know what? 830 is not an affordable. It's not affordable flagship.
Yeah.
You good over there?
I'm trying to get rid of the
there you go. You're good. Yeah, it's far from it. I tweeted out a screenshot of of the folders constantly having blank on the other day. Oh, there you go. Blank tiles again. And then coming back to the home screen, I'm constantly stuck at loading and resuming in between apps and just go to the home screen. And coming from a 1520, it's just unacceptable.
I agree. So, let's see. Does anybody have stuff to plug tonight?
Well, the only plug I want to do is I have a 14-year-old border collie running around. It's her 14th birthday today. Cancer, congestive heart failure, a bad valve,
and balloons.
So yeah, in fact, that was our big deal. Was we were just trying to make 14, and lo and behold, here we are. So, shout out to Abby. Thank you.
Well earned, well deserved. Let me put out one quick shoot the sheet item, then we'll move on to plugs and we'll wrap up the main show. But next Wednesday is the big announcement event for Windows 10, where we're expecting to see consumer info and Windows Mobile for Windows 10. So that's Wednesday. I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific. That'll be live streamed by Microsoft. We'll put the link in the show notes, and I think I'll be doing some live tweeting of that event as well from the 25.4 podcast account. And then the next day, January 22nd, the day everybody's been waiting for. Build registration.
Yes.
Will we see Mr. Andrew Long there?
That's a good question. We could use some help. We need a sponsor. With that sponsors to send me out to build.
That new haircut, your wife could put you on a street corner somewhere, and 5-6 nights tops, your ticket's covered.
I've tried. Believe me, I've tried.
Not in the Tenderloin, you haven't.
There you go.
Where?
The Tenderloin in San Francisco. You'd be considered a delicacy there.
I'm blushing, I think.
A little bit.
Really, just for hair product, I need a whole nother sponsor just for that, because that's expensive stuff. Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be the gay one.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. What else did I want to hit on? So I'm flustered now.
while you're thinking and regaining consciousness, before we started the show, I had some weird audio coming into my headphones, and it's still there. I closed every browser. I closed all instances of Visual Studio. I force closed Skype because Skype just sleeps in the tray. I force closed everything. Muted our Hangout. I muted everything. I even muted Windows, and I'm still hearing talking in my headphones. Somehow, my headphones plugged into my laptop are acting as a speaker, and I am picking up a local radio station, as they identified themselves as 105.7 Milwaukee FM. So
I think that's awesome.
This is really weird, and I can't get rid of it, and it's really frustrating.
It's a very specific hallucination.
I think you have an implant of some kind.
It's if I plug it into my Jabra speaker over here, I don't hear it.
I'd say the verdict is you've got some really shitty headphones, and maybe you need a new pair.
They're not. Well, the Dell, my Precision, is made out of it's like the iPhone 4. Its entire outer case is aluminum. It's like made out of all aluminum, so it's acting as a gigantic antenna apparently.
That was our buzzer.
That's terribly sexy.
Some after show sound there. Has anybody been paying attention? We actually have 4 viewers.
Do we really?
That's a new record.
One of those is Brandon. Oh, perhaps. I hear Esteban. Esteban's home.
Oh, let's hold Esteban over till the after show.
Okay.
I'm gonna do either of you guys want to plug anything else, Robert? Do you want to plug your meetup?
We need to come up with it. Where's my dinner?
Get off the show. I'm not ready for you yet. Where's my dinner? No, do I have anything I want to plug? Not right now. No, not particularly. No.
All right. I was going to give you a chance to plug your meetup this Saturday. But
oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right. The meetup. I have a meetup group now. Thanks for reminding me. Oh, we just totally went off the rails when Esteban got home, didn't we?
Look over your left shoulder.
There's like a bright red head in the corner of the screen.
Please say hello to the birthday girl. Yeah, the meetup. So meetup.com/WinPlatDev. It's the new Bay Area meetup group for Windows platform developers, and the first meetup, sponsored by AdDuplex, is this Saturday in Sunnyvale. If you go to meetup.com/WinPlatDev, you can sign up and RSVP for that event.
Awesome.
Only a 3-hour commitment. Come on, and there's like free coffee.
And it's free, right?
Yeah, totally free.
You get to hang out with Robert. What could be better on a Saturday morning?
Are you bringing Esteban?
No. Esteban has a pool to clean.
I didn't think it was, even in California, I wouldn't think it's pool season quite yet, especially where you guys are.
Any excuse to make him run around outside in cold weather in a Speedo.
All right, I'm gonna plug one of my own apps tonight. I was listening to the oh shit, what is it? The App BizDev podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
With Robert and Rob Irving, and it was a great show. They had Adley Hunter on, who is a fabulous Windows Phone developer, and makes a living at it actually. So if there's anybody you should be jealous of, it's him.
Yeah.
But they mentioned an app on their show yesterday, which reminded me of one of my apps that I did a couple of years ago. It's called GigStyle, and it lets you search for your favorite bands or artists and see when they are playing in concert. You can see all their upcoming shows. You can see tracks and albums, and hook up over to Mix Radio with it. I tried it out yesterday. It felt like I was trying it out for the first time because it had been a while since I played with it, and it actually works, and was still pretty cool. And you can pin your favorite artist to your home screen stuff, and the live tiles update with their information on their next concert. So that's GigStyle. It's in the Windows Phone store. Check it out. We are wrapping up the audio portion of the show, and we're going to get into the after show here in a minute. Apologies to Rudy Hoyne We ran out of time, unfortunately, again.
Every week,
So we'll try again next week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at 25.4 Podcast. Check out the website, 25.4.azurewebsites.net. And you can find the podcast now on iTunes and the podcast app on your Windows Phone. That's it.
Getting legit.
Stay tuned if you're watching live for the after show where we'll really have some fun. Seacrest out. And we're clear. And we still have 3 viewers.
Wow.
I'm mightily impressed with ourselves.
All right, so who caused us to lose one there?
Well, it was while I was talking, so I'm sure it was me.
So
you were done.
I have to say the most hilarious part was when Greg walked around the corner through the doorway and just went to his knees and started petting with the dog.
Was it just me, or did his head look like it was red? Bright red?
Oh, yeah.
Like a bright red penis on the floor of your...
Don't go there. Hi, honey. How are you?
So this is sort of an unofficial app plug now. This is you remember the Dateline NBCs where they used to do To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen?
Be quiet, puppy.
I'm sorry. He just showed up and decided to...
Oh, look at the puppy.
Sorry, Andrew.
You
may continue.
Now, puppies are way better than what I've got any day of the week.
I think the camera just went to shit.
There we go. Puppy problem solved. Go, Andrew.
Well, anyway, there's a Chris Hansen soundboard app in the Windows Phone store, and that was where that last little...
That's terribly sexy.
When did Chris Hansen ever utter that phrase in the context of To Catch a Predator?
Well, he would read the
the chat.
Chat messages.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Oh my gosh! I didn't realize that's what you were playing.
Sexual device out of his pants.
Oh my god.
I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
So when you heard those words, you knew you were in trouble then, right?
Did you see the...
When you call somebody who's an adult who comes over to meet a child all alone after a sexually explicit conversation, what is that called?
Tim?
Andrew Long.
What is that called?
It's called Andrew Long.
You don't look for me? I'll make it feel really good for you, hon.
Okay.
Hold on.
And he walked into that by doing that on the show.
Are you thinking you might want to have sex with me? I want to wrestle you so freaking bad.
So, you know, in the movie Home Alone, where he's constantly replaying the whatever movie audio clips to scare people, like when the pizza guy comes, that's all I can think of. Somebody comes to knock on your door, and you start playing those.
Maybe a little. I have to get back to the app.
Did you bring condoms?
Robert Lurie again.
So, Rudy, now that we're in the after show, you might have a minute or two. Do you want to say anything to the people? Rudy? You have to unmute your microphone, Rudy.
Bueller.
All right, I guess Rudy must have stepped away.
Either that or
You
can't
shut him down again.
how to unmute his microphone.
Do we want to talk about the Rudy stuff at all from earlier this week, or have we beat that to
Sure.
death?
We can do that. It's always good for a bitch or two.
So where do we start? So
That
I
is the
think
question.
again, we're all in agreement here. You know, my beef isn't totally with Rudy though; it's with Microsoft as well because they continue, to sort of roll him out there, trumpet him, celebrate his success.
And I want to know what. I guess my question is, who is their target audience for that? Because I had a little bit of a revelation. There's just as there's design and there's code. I'm not a designer. I write code. Style sheets I could give crap about. I'd prefer to have somebody else do that because it makes my ears bleed. Rudy's clearly not that person. And I think it might have. Who was it that said he was a great designer that knew how to code?
Well, I think Brandon had
Was it Brandon that made that point? Yeah, in that tweet, and he's spot on with that. And I have to wonder how much. Surely trotting him out there is a pure marketing move, but who are they marketing to? Because you sit down with somebody like Atlee Hunter, and is Rudy being held up as this example to keep people sticking, the fans, the community, the consumers in the Windows Phone world, keeping them on the platform, or is that really and truly targeted at getting developers onto the platform? Because I haven't heard or seen Rudy say or do anything that would come even remotely close to the type of advice that Atlee Hunter has. And practical real-world experience. The man actually does make a full-time living all this. He's got 400 unique apps, almost 400 apps, in the Windows Phone store alone. He didn't hack anybody's third-party APIs. He built all those apps, and he is a monetization genius. And he's made a good amount of money off of that. So who is this all this Rudy stuff for? Because it doesn't seem to me it's for a developer that wants to make money.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tim.
It's just a developer story. It's not for users. They need some form of collateral and to be able to point to say, look, we have developers that can be successful, like really successful. But the problem is who are they actually talking to? Like, what conversations are happening? Is this, if they're trying to go convince a business to convert their whole business from iPhone to Windows Phone, they can point to them and say, look, people are successful on here. I think it makes sense to highlight those, but it's proving the wrong point when you're constantly highlighting the same one. You're not saying developers can be successful. You're saying this one is the only one that we seem to be able to showcase. So, if you're
I'm going to disagree.
Not really useful.
I'm going to disagree a little bit on who Microsoft is sort of targeting the Rudy story to, and I think they are, at least in this most recent case, the article that came out on Monday, they are targeting that to just regular consumers. Regular consumers are not going to, they're hesitant to come to Windows Phone because of the app gap. And what Rudy does serves a purpose in that it is, at least temporarily and in many cases, gradually bridging that app gap. Any app that you and I write that's using a official public API is fragile to some extent. The developer at a whim can change the API can go down, whatever, and your app breaks. When your app is based on a hacked private API, it's totally out of your control because the owner of that API is going to probably try to do things as we've seen. There's been instances with Instagram where that app is still available, the 6 tag, but Snapchat has shut them down, Tinder has shut them down totally. Where they don't want you stealing their API, they just don't, and with good reason.
So why did they highlight whatever stupid little Daft Punk soundboard-like app thing that he built? Why was that the feature of that article? I did not read the article. I glanced at it and closed it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I agree with your point, but that one it doesn't fall into it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
yeah.
They had to publish something, so they came up with that.
I guess maybe they wanted to highlight one of his more original apps. Although I put out that I retweeted that shoot, I have to go back and find it. But somebody tweeted to me that he actually even stole that idea from a website. There's an iDaft website out there that does the exact same thing basically, and that's where he borrowed the idea from.
Well, I think you.
But if you look at his other original apps, there's not that I'm doing earth-shattering stuff myself, but there's
none of us are.
No. He has a counter app, I think. I think he has like a TV guide app, or two of his other more popular apps. I don't know.
I think I agree that it is not. I can't put my finger on exactly what their thinking is. It might be to address this perception of the app gap, and you may be right, putting him out there and saying, look, this guy's got 16 million downloads. Here's the plethora of bridging apps that he's built for the gap. But at the same time, do you really, if you've already got a perception problem that there's an app gap that exists, do you really want to trot out somebody that just highlights that further? Yeah, we don't have all the official apps, but here are our second best third-party alternatives written by this guy. See, we've got all the apps you need. I don't know how many people that's going to sway.
Yeah.
And it's certainly, if you want to talk to developers, and if your message is to developers, you don't put, a fancy artistic picture with lights being held in each hand, or however that was created, isn't going to speak to a developer as much as a big dollar sign with 6 numbers in front of it. So it's clear to me they're not talking to the developer community with Rudy, because if they are, they're completely speaking the wrong language if they're talking to folks who want to be on a platform to make money.
Yeah, well, and I agree with what you said as well, that it kind of cheapens the platform and makes it seem like it's it's the store labeled vegetables on the grocery store aisle.
Yeah.
But,
so I don't know. Well, we cannot know what the intent is. We can only sit here and bitch about it.
It gives us plenty to bitch about, though.
It does.
I'm glad we've got it for that reason alone. So what else? What else do we want to hit on? Oh, this Fuse thing. Tim, you're the one that first brought that to our attention. Have you looked at that anymore?
What's it?
Fuse, that cross-platform.
Yeah, it's not
dev tools.
built for Windows Phone. It's built for Android and iOS. Their focus is design and fluency. They've got a good promotional video, but it's one of those things like we'll wait and see. Is it a framework that has just some really solid UI animation and that's it, or is it the whole package? And depending on what it has, the most important part is how much is it going to cost, because Xamarin is out of the picture, because you're talking $1,000 for one platform per developer. So it's just I can see how Xamarin can be targeted at the enterprise and the enterprise pricing. That's fine, but definitely with the glamour showcased by Fuse, it's definitely a consumer app-focused platform. Therefore, anybody that's somehow in some state of mind watching or listening to this show would be right in that ballpark to want to use something like that for a consumer app.
Yeah.
So it has to be priced right.
I'm interested in seeing more. I sent an email from their contact form on their website today asking them some questions about it, because like you said on the website, it says it's only iOS and Android, but it's targeting C# developers. One question I have is, will it support PCLs? Because if it does, at least that's kind of a bridge to the Windows Phone side, and then I think a lot of developers have been using PCLs to sort of package up their app logic for reuse across platforms. And I wonder also, like I don't know if you know or not, Tim, is the Fuse stuff, like, do they have their own sort of API that you call into, and then they sort of map it out to the native iOS or Android stuff, or how does that work?
So I'm talking completely based off of the couple, 2 or 3 screenshots and video and their promotional video, and I can tell they have their own IDE, just like Xamarin Studio. So I think they have their own IDE. It looks like it's laid out, and it's very familiar, like Visual Studio, blended.
Looks sort of blendish, yeah.
Yeah, but it seems a little more flat in like its design. So it definitely doesn't seem to be Visual Studio, and I think I would guess it's going to be just like Xamarin, where part of their framework that you develop against, you use their APIs, which, like Xamarin, compile down to their respective platforms.
Right.
One big question, though, is, if it's really powerful on the UI side, can I go into their tool that might have all the awesome blend-like features to go build a really awesome animated UI that does all the good stuff? Then can I go pull that back into Visual Studio and go build my real application with all the tools that I know and all the NuGet packages and all of that stuff? That's kind of the big question, is what's your workflow going to look like to actually work on it? Like,
Yeah.
this UI thing is broken, that animation is really slow, I got to close Visual Studio and go reopen it in this other tool.
Yeah, that is one thing that they emphasize a lot in the videos they have, is the animation story for your app, and really designing those sort of wowy, cool UIs.
So it's almost the other end of Xamarin. Xamarin, is just good in the core, just making native applications, and that's it. But the story to actually build a really compelling, awesome application is not there, without probably a lot of investment. But I can't play with it too much because I don't have it. Unless somebody watching this podcast would love to purchase it for us.
Well, I think, Tim, you got everybody to click on your referral link yesterday, so you should be ahead of all of us in line for sure, and you'll probably find out before any of us do. So
we'll see. Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So
I do like that they make a note that it's not just another JavaScript platform, like another crappy JavaScript platform or whatever wording they used.
I think the world has enough of those, right?
Yeah.
Cordova.
Isn't that what all crappy JavaScript platforms say when they first come out, though? We're not the typical...
We're not those crappy ones.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's not JavaScript at all, because it says that it's not.
It's C#. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Well, what else we got?
I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to the news. I am.
It's been kind of slow.
Yeah, I am excited for build registration to kick in.
I'm excited for next week. It's calm before the storm.
Oh yeah, I'm really hoping that last year we were talking about that on Twitter the other day. In 2013 it sold out almost immediately. And I think they had to reopen. I think they reopened once to take additional tickets, and those sold out fairly quickly as well. And then last year, it didn't sell out for a while. If it even did sell out, I don't even know that it did. I anticipate this year it's going to sell out again, and I'd be very surprised if we didn't see the same setup at Moscone that we saw in 2013, where they pretty much had both sides of the street with the big pavilions, the big venues taken over instead of the small 2-story one it was crammed into last year. So it's going to be interesting. Everybody warm up your keyboard fingers. 9 a.m., 22nd.
11 a.m. in the real world.
Yeah, well, whatever. Real world. You know what? I can go out on my back porch and not step in 2 feet of snow.
That's 5 p.m. GMT for
I can't do that.
The real rest of the world. I love all people from all countries, so I...
Hey, Esteban? Esteban.
Yes.
Esteban, ven aquí.
He's like, fuck off.
I don't know what he's doing. My coffee cup's empty, Esteban.
He was
just
right,
eating some
he was
chips or
right there a
something.
minute ago, kind of hovering over you.
He's been prepping for the photo shoot.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird. Oh, that's how you break a monitor right there.
Oh. Yeah. Don't be throwing things near the monitors. Haven't we learned that lesson?
This is soft. This won't break your 30-inch monitor like the pen you threw.
No, I can't break the 30-inch monitor. The 30-inch monitor's broken in a box behind me. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that monitor either. I probably ought to get it fixed and try to sell it and get some of my money back out of it.
Pen holder.
What?
You can use it as a pen holder.
I can't.
A pen holder. How did I hear that? You can use it as a pen holder.
This is a damn good mic. I am using the Apple Cup. You should come fill it.
What?
I'm using the Apple Cup. You should come fill it.
You might want to specify with what.
With coffee. You're so dirty.
Oh, he's prepping the balloons.
Well, it's her 14th birthday, so, you know, he turned 41 last year, and that gave him an idea for a photo shoot. Because, you know, if you turn the numbers around, it makes 14.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to actually try to get the Border Collie to sit at the dining room table with a happy birthday tiara on.
Can you set up your webcam and try and record that?
No, I'd just as soon show you the final results when it's over instead of what we have to go through to get the shot. Yeah, I get to be photographer's assistant, which means I get to hold the treats.
Well, every job's important, Robert.
Every job's important. This is true. This is true.
All right. Well, we don't want to hold you from the party any longer. Esteban looks pretty anxious.
Yeah,
He's circling.
He's probably gonna slap me with the pull filter when I get off the.
Oh, we should get that on camera.
Let's not.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
All right, gentlemen.
Well, we've beaten this one to death.
Yes, we have.
Have a good one.
Thank you to our 3 viewers.
Thank you very much.
Later, Gators.
Bye, guys.
See ya.